From that break, this is still the press on KAFTAN television here in Abuja. Right now, I'm being joined by Toba Owojaiye, who is a public affairs analyst. He joins me live in the studio. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be here.
Welcome. Thank you for coming, at least for taking out your time. There are so many interesting topics that made headlines on our national dealings. Let me begin with this tax reform. I think I haven't gotten your opinion as much as I've gotten several opinions on what this tax reform bill is. But let me start with that. Why do you think some state governors are against this bill, despite? Or let me start by asking, what is your own perception, or what is your own? How did you assess the tax reform bill?
Yes. Okay. So, because you want to make this fast, I think the tax reform bill is very good for Nigeria. It's the direction we should be going. But of course, it's tricky in the fact that the presidents, most of the people working in the heading the tax agency are from the southwest, and they were appointed by the president, who is from the southwest. So there is a right for people to believe that maybe there is some political drama going on to favor the southwest in that bill. But the bill in itself, looking at it for its merits, is a very good bill.
This is one of the big things that have come up that Nigerians have come out to support. Even when it earlier came up, I was one of those who, want to try to use sentiments to say, okay, it's a fantastic one, but how about the timing? But now looking at going through the bills, you see that and Nigerians have come out largely to support this bill. This is one of the reforms that Nigerians has come out in massive to say, oh, we love it, it's fantastic. But another question around it is, why do you think some state governors are against it?
Yeah, so let me try and let's pick just the VAT, then we can pick the other aspect. Let's pick the VAT part of it. Before, the VAT was 100%, then 35% goes to local government.
Okay.
That has not changed. 35% of your VAT still goes to the local government to be shared. Now, the federal government got 15% before, which makes it 50%. Then a whole 50% was left for the governors. Out of that 50%, 25% of that 50% was shared based on equality. That means it's shared across board.
Okay.
Then the last 25%, 15% was shared based on population of people in that state. Then 10% was shared based on derivation. So states like Kano, Lagos, Rivers, the very large states, were gaining a lot on population. And a lot of northern states also were gaining on population because of the number of people. But some of them were gaining very low on derivation, which was 10%. So now the government has changed that, has pushed 10% from the federal government down into the purses of the governors. 25% is still equity, so that's why I'm wondering why they're still crying. You still get 25% out of the 50. But now on the other 50, population has been shrunk down to 10%, which is where most of them have their cry from.
Okay.
And the other monies have been pushed up to derivation. So derivation is now large. Equity is also still good, but derivation is now 20%, while population is 10%. Let me explain derivation. A cow is sold in Kano. Since you didn't send the cow through any legal banking system, that cow is not VATed in Kano. Let's say it is now made into beef and packaged as corned beef and sold in River State at Walmart or ShopRite. It is now at ShopRite, when the person is buying it, the consumer is buying it, that VAT is being collected.
Okay.
So the cow that moved from wherever the cow moves is getting nothing on VAT. Where VAT is at derivation, at the point of consumer purchase. So what we are saying is, governors, work out a system where you have better consumer purchase. We cannot be banking on a system where somebody buys an expensive wine in Lagos for 1 million, and then his VAT is now shared based on population with a state that banned alcohol. But even with that, they will still be getting 25% on equity. whether they ban it or not. They will still be getting 10% on population, whether they ban it or not. Is that the amount that they would have gotten has shrunk. So these are the issues, and people are, that means if your state doesn't work hard, you won't get plenty VAT. Your VAT will not be as large as before. But if your state works hard and works out more derivations, more consumer-based payments, like electricity, you are paying VAT on electric bills, you are paying VAT on your POS. When you have more of that, you will have more derivation, which will now push states to work more. You can choose what you earn. I think it's a very good bill. And then also, if you are earning less than 10 million annually, you are not paying tax. So a lot of people will escape personal income tax. Tax has gone more into bigger companies. So it's a good bill, but it's tricky on some parts. And I understand why people who, let's say you have been getting 10 billion as your allocation, you are not sure what your next allocation will be coming from this. But I don't see it really changing. Local government funds remains the same. Equity remains the same. So I really don't see what they're crying about.
No. Looking at the economic impact of this tax reform bill, we know that with this, well, viewers, at this point, our phone lines are now open for you to call in to join the conversation. Like I was saying, looking at the economic benefits of this tax reform bill, because when it's being passed, it's going to encourage, it's going to boost competition between states, it's going to create job employment. At least states will go out there, will now be able to, fight for their state to be more developed, and in a way like that, job creation is being comes in. Now, looking at all these factors, there are still many questions on the lips of Nigerians. With this, Nigerians will always say the state governors are the problem of this country. Do you agree with them?
I won't say that, because see, if you're a state governor, and it is a system of laziness we have created, and we've petted this system for over 60 years, and we don't want this system to change, and anytime anybody tries to change it, we cry. But every day we cry for change. So this is my problem. You want change, and when a slight change is being introduced, the same people start crying out that they don't want anything to change. So they don't want the way they are getting money to change. But that needs to change. Let me give an illustration. Let's say a student is reading hard for an exam, and then one day to the exam, he gets the expo of the exam. Can that student read again?
No.
No. Even if he wants to read, one line of book will not enter his head again. Why? Because his brain already knows that we have the answer. So the system we are running is a system that the governors have expo. You just sit down and federal allocation comes in. Whether you work or not, federal allocation comes in. So the state is sleeping. If we really work on this, every state will generate its power by itself.
But then there is only there is this saying that change is a constant thing. So now we are trying to change the narrative. So I don't see, why do you think federal state governors are still trying to make this so tough? Because according to this headline here, it says that they're going to meet with the National Assembly members. Okay, ACF resist panel. So the Nigerians still want to believe, a lot of people will always say state governors are really the problem of this country.
Yeah, like, you see, I had a hot debate in the car yesterday, and somebody was telling me what Tinubu is doing and why Tinubu should not arrest the governors. I said, he's even, as we read on, he's even struggling to be able to save the local governments from the governors. Our constitution is criminally flawed. The president has almost no power on the governors.
Exactly.
Read your constitution. I've not seen what a president can do to a governor.
Exactly.
So even right now, the federal government is threatening to take them to court. I don't see what will come out of it.
Over local government autonomy.
Yes, because the way our constitution is written gives each person their own powers. The president was elected the same day as the governor. The president has the same immunities the governors have. They have immunity. So what are you going to do to someone you've given immunity?
Well, it is well. Let's move out straight to another headline. This headline on The Punch says, Imported petrol landing cost drops to 900 naira per litre. Is this the light at the end of the tunnel that Nigerians should be expecting?
It is the slow beginning to the light at the end of the tunnel. It is. I have to go back on my word. I said here in March that by December, if 3 refineries are working, we'll have fuel at 500. So
we already have one working. So baby step, like
yes,
the president who described the reforms, baby step.
So I failed on that analysis. 3 refineries are not ready. I have a friend who works in the Kaduna refinery. I saw his pictures. He put them on his status some days ago. Work is going on there. It's a replacement work. It's not even repair.
Replacement.
In Kaduna, most of the parts of the refinery in Kaduna is being replaced.
Okay.
But this is my problem. I don't understand why the government cannot be transparent about this. Tell us this and this is being spent on the refinery. This is the phase it has gone to. This is the amount of change, of replacement we have had. Take RMD, take Serap, take Adeaju, take Sorore, take the greatest activists, take some government officials to the refineries, take KAFTANTV, take other television stations, let them go and see the 3 refineries for themselves.
Exactly, these conditions.
They will be, yes, people, there's a large mistrust with the government. Let them see people they trust, go and video the refineries and show the progress that is there. Don't tell us you are making progress. Don't tell us Port Harcourt is working. Let journalists go there and make their, don't pay them. Let them go and make their own inference. Because what we expect to see is once there is a serious competition, the prices of fuel will come down. It has begun to come down, but very minimally. If 3-4 refineries come on board and individually sell, fuel will come down to 700.
I see.
And now the government will be out of the business of running business. It will make them be able to function properly. KAFTANTV is functioning properly because it's not government run. People are running it. The owner, if we mess up today, will call you immediately on this show. This is why people will perform, because there's a system that holds them accountable.
But talking about performance, okay, but before I move to my next question, we have a caller here. It's good to have you join us on the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my sister.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel from where?
Out here, Edo State. Yes.
Edo State. Okay,
I'm
please.
from Edo State, out here.
All right, please tune down the volume of your TV set. Tune down the volume of your TV set.
Okay. Like what he said, man, he said Nigeria politician, the governor and the president, they have more the power. For me, personally, you know, I'm an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Especially in electricity. I'm into concerning electricity. I'm a therapy staff.
Okay.
And I'm always surprised the president said the price should be 500 naira per liter. But for my mind, I always surprised, why is it that NNPCL or what you call them now, they will exceed the price to the extent that what I got something that they cannot take the instruction of the president. Why is it like that? That's my own question. Because president, they have believed first supposed to be 500 naira. As the president had not to us, the president was threatening. We know that he doesn't even know the system. We don't even know what is happening. And people say they use it for business. That's what we dilemma believe. I want you to please explain that to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
You want to respond to that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I ended the call knowingly.
I think he had made this
Point, yes.
So this is what we're saying. There are forces of demand and supply. The president cannot tell private companies how much to sell their products.
Exactly.
Okay? So the president cannot even tell us to sell fuel within a range. He cannot. It's a private business. What you do is make sure that you put policies on ground that makes that product competitive, that makes plenty players come into that business. Then you can reserve some quantity of that product that in case those people begin to strong arm the people, you can release those products to verify. Let me give an example. Let's say rice. They tried it, but they failed because Nigerians or Nigerian government and people who they give power are corrupt. You can, if rice is going for 60,000, you can go and sell directly to the masses for 40,000. So when the person who has kept his rice for 60,000 sees that everybody's buying the other rice, he will drop his price.
Exactly.
There are people who have their rice already in warehouses waiting for the price to become 120 in January. When they see that the rice is going down to 80, they'll be forced to bring out their rice. This is the way you can control it. This is the same way you can control fuel. Yesterday I was in front of a junction and I saw buses going to Maraba for 500. And another bigger coastal bus came and parked there and shouted, Maraba 300. And when he shouted 300, people started coming down from the other buses and entered this one. The other bus, now seeing the condition of things, started shouting, Maraba 300. So this is what we're saying.
Competition.
That when we get to real competition, we will see them competing. Like how we see MTN, Glo competing for our attention at the beginning when they came in. SIM card went from 32,000 to 0 naira plus 100 naira free airtime. This is things. I'm not saying that fuel we get that low, but I also believe that fuel can get that low because we are seeing Elon Musk and others looking for alternate ways to generate fuel. But in the next 2 years' time, we should be talking about water being a way to fuel cars. When we get to water being a way to fuel cars, my brother, fuel will be 59 naira.
Well, we hope it's get there. But another question I want to ask is, you talked about adequate functioning. We've seen just Monday, I was the one that did this program, the morning show. I anchored on Monday, and we came across headline where the Senate is, where the Senate has shown the disappointments over the constant grid collapse.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about privatization, do you think, looking at what is going on in the power sector, do you think our refineries should be privatized? Because some people will be of the opinion that, okay, since the federal government cannot handle it, they should sell it out to private companies or to private firms. But do you think privatization would work even? See,
it's not about privatization or government running it. It's because we have a corrupt system. If we had a transparent system,
it's because we have a corrupt system. That's why over the years it has not been working.
That's what I'm saying. So even if we privatize it,
so perhaps if someone buys it or if a firm buys it,
that's what I'm saying. If we buy it and sell it to corrupt people that we cannot hold accountable, we will still be back where we came from.
Mr. Toby, please give me a moment.
Okay, go on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you can hear me, glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Kaduna. I'm Shegun.
Shegun, all right. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Your guest has spoken well.
Thank you, sir.
So, you see, the problem of this country, we don't have a leader. It's only a ruler that we have.
Okay.
And those rulers we have, they make a decision, they make a policy that they don't even sit down and check how this policy is going to affect the people in the society positively.
Okay.
But the policy they make it to for themselves. Just imagine of the four refinery we are having in Nigeria, especially the one in Kaduna here. Our refinery in Kaduna here doesn't have any problem.
Okay.
It's because of the bad management and the bad government we're having in this country.
All right.
The Port Harcourt refinery, the same thing. But they were just looking for a way to downsize the development and the government properties of this country. And making the masses to suffer more and more.
All right. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
So the only thing that can survive, that can save the masses in this country is to introduce revolution that happens in Ghana those days. It's only revolution that can save us from this country, from this our bad ruler of this country.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thought, and have yourself a wonderful day. Are you in support of revolution?
I'm not an advocate for revolution in Nigeria because of the way Nigeria is set
exactly.
up.
Just ordinary protests. We'll see.
The way Nigeria is set up is so divisive in its nature that a revolution is almost impossible. But I believe 2027 we can have a ballot revolution.
Ballot revolution.
A ballot revolution. Now we are keeping quiet about it for now because you don't back about everything early. So, but let me go to his point. You cannot. I cannot completely blame the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration for what is happening with the refineries. So
who do we hold accountable?
The refineries, the last time we built a refinery in this country was 1984.
Okay.
Which is 40 years ago. And Tinubu has done about 18 months in office. And the Dangote refinery has been forced till it's functional. We have evidence that repairs and replacements are going on in 3 refineries that he has been working on in the 18 months that he has been on ground. Fuel is the largest determinant of our economy. This is why our buses are expensive. This is why our fares are expensive. This is what. So if he focuses on that, and it's trying, because there are people, there are elements that want this country in perpetual poverty. There are elements from the global market that want Nigeria in perpetual servitude, not able to produce anything. But become the largest consumers of things. Nigeria is the 3rd largest consumer of the iPhone. Okay, Nigeria is the 3rd largest consumer of imported hair in the world. So there are people who will prefer us to just be that market,
yes, buy from them,
buying and consuming.
Exactly.
Okay, and there are also local people in Nigeria who are making money off that system. Those people don't want the system to change. So for that reason, the president must hoard some information. The progress of repairs in that in those refineries, if they should sell, but at the point of sale they cannot hide the information again. They should not sell to their cronies. We saw what happened is happening with Wike and land issue. The only issues that have blown up in my face or his face on that is the fact that some names close to him are being mentioned as the beneficiaries. If not, it will have been somehow okay. But once you start getting, but then if you now make it's a transparent process, and the people who benefit, who now win the bids, are the fronts of your enemies and opponents, then you are going to fail. So politics is deep. Politics is bigger than. Nigeria has the worst politics in the world that I have seen. Our political system is our greatest problem. I've said it on this seat like 10 times. The greatest problem of Nigeria is the way we do politics. It's not governance. The way we do politics is what has made our governance horrible, is what has made our country horrible, and we need to fix that. So the president needs to bring out these 3 refineries, let all the big NGOs visit it, let the experts visit it, let us know if the refineries are ready. When they are ready, let us know the companies that will bid for it. Let it be an open bid. Let it take place on all television stations. Whoever wins the bid, it will not be on their neck. This is how Nigeria will move forward.
All right, thank you. You've spoken quite well. Hello, good morning. If you can hear me.
Good morning. You're not loud enough, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Johnson. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, please, Johnson, go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, I want to contribute to the speaker that is close to you.
One second, please. Kindly tune down the volume of your TV set.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Very well.
go on.
Please go ahead.
You spoke about the problem of this country that is bad governance. It's actually true. You don't have leaders, you have rulers. Rulers who don't care about what happens to its followers. You can imagine we will have a leader who will come to a city like Lagos to demolish police barracks. Set the policemen like astray. So now tell me, what is it displaying to the world that doesn't like the policemen or what? How many barracks have been demolished in Lagos now? Yes, some barracks are going down. Now, what is he trying to tell the policemen? Is he trying to build up security, or is he trying to scatter the security in that the country itself is porous security-wise? I don't really understand what is going where they're taking us to. If like in Lagos, police barracks being demolished and no solid structure, like maybe established that these people are coming back. So what essence are we having ruler who don't care about the security aspect of the country?
All right.
So I think.
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I was going to talk about that Wiki, the demolition going on before you even mentioned Wiki. Now, the Senate, this headline says Senate orders Wiki to halt Abuja houses demolition. And to that regard, Wiki has replied and said, "Let heavens fall, we won't stop." And now I know that sometimes we allow emotions overwhelm us as much as that, but do you think proper investigations are being carried out before these demolitions go on? But before then, we have a constant caller here, and let's take it before you take that question. We lost that caller. Please, you might have to call us back. Now, do you think, like, let me use the Nigerian slang, do you think that Wiki is doing too much?
I'm already known as a Wiki man.
So you're pro Wiki.
Yes, I'm pro Wiki.
Pro Wiki, please give me a moment to to answer this call. Good morning. Kindly tune down the volume of your TV set.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Good morning. Tune down the volume of your TV set, and you have just 60 seconds. Your name?
Hello. My name is Abdullah Garba. I'm calling from Zamfara.
Zamfara Abdullah, please go
morning,
ahead.
sir.
Yes, the issue is that in the privatization of refinery, that is where I'm not supporting the privatization of refinery.
Okay.
Indeed, because when you look from the beginning of privatization in this country, since the days of the regime of during Hamza Zayat, all the property that is sold or they privatize it, they privatize it to themselves, and those people that acquire the property are not after engineering the companies or the organization. All what they are after is the asset of the company.
Exactly.
I will give you an example. Like NEPA as of today. They sold all the property of NEPA. They are just mismanaging it. All what they are after is only the property. They sold their houses, the land. Likewise, Nigeria. I can't remember the many ones. But what I'm telling you is that all those people that are acquiring these companies are not after engineering the company. All what they are after the asset of the company.
All right.
And they will sell it to their products and they acquire it. All what you know later, the company will not be moving anymore.
Okay. All right.
So actually, I'm not supporting the issue of privatization.
Okay.
Anything
All right.
government, let government manage it.
All right. Thank you
very much,
for
sir.
your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful day. So I'm pro Wiki, please.
Okay, let me
do
go
you
back
think?
to my Wiki is a performer. He's Mr. Projects. You are an FCT. I believe in the last 1 year you have seen more projects done by Wiki than the 8 years of the last FCT minister.
Yes, we can't deny that. But what I'm saying,
I'm coming. So for somebody who has those targets set for himself, he has to move fast. He has to move.
Even when he's at the detriment of the Nigerian people.
I am coming. He has to move very fast. He cannot, you see, you cannot move at the slow pace of you walk. And I tell you that Wiki hardly breaks the law. You see, this is where people who fight Wiki do not yet understand the man and why it looks like they never are able to get him down. He knows the law, and he will sit on the edge of that law. Okay, if he sees something being revoked, he must have found a ground upon which it can be revoked. I am not saying it's morally right. That is not my position. That will be determined by a court. If he has revoked somebody's land, illegally, he can be sued. The Senate has come into the matter to say he should halt the matters. Now, this is why I've said before, how strong is the powers of the Senate? The Senate has said he should halt, and from what you have read, he said, let heavens fall. I don't know whether they happened on the same day or which happened first, but I believe that at some point, the Senate can call him to come and explain to them what has transpired. The only documents I saw from that was from another newspaper that said some of the beneficiaries, the companies that benefited were people who are supporters of his government, people who are his personal aides.
Have what?
Who have benefited from who are in the documents of the company that will get the land.
Okay.
So those are issues that if that comes up, he's going to have issues with that. And then of course he already knows that he has a lot of people who don't like him, so he's going to be in some trouble. But like I told you, most of the things Wike does that I am aware of, he is backed by law. That man sits down and looks at law. Let's say you have not I've seen in land business where somebody's allocated land for 10 years to develop FCT. The land is given to him at a very cheap price. You say you're going to do a mass housing estate. He's giving 100 hectares. Then 6 years down the line, he has not built one house. What we see him doing is marketing the land to sell. And when he sells it, the next person buys it to market it to sell. Bros, you told us you wanted to give us mass housing. So sometimes politicians, instead of giving it generally to just anybody, find people that they can hold accountable and start building. For what we know about Wike, Wike will not take a land to keep for future. I can assure you that before 6 months, you will see a completely built estate on that land. This is the Wike we know, because he is pressured by his own self to perform and deliver. We are seeing the Nikon bridge. We are seeing 4 bridges that are done on the Apo axis. We have seen over 5 other connecting roads he has done in his time. We've seen a functional train that is still working today, carrying people from town to Kuba axis, and is running for free till date. He is a man pressured by his own, not the government, his own need to perform and completely change FCT. So will he step on some toes? Yes. Will he go back and retract on some of them? Yes. Will they make some compromises? Yes. But this is a man looking on how to deliver on FCT. What Wike has done in 1 year is more than the last minister did in 8 years. But I do not support taking people's land. Let my position be clear before people come to look for me in my house.
Like you already know that before people come looking for you. Okay, then let's see. Since he's been invited by the Senate, let's just keep fingers crossed to see what comes out of it. But then we have another headline here on the Punch that says INEC to phase out PVCs, plans diaspora voting. Now, why I want to get your reaction on this is because you talked about our political system of government. Not so long, the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, talked about leadership skill, where he mentioned that the INEC must be vetted. Now, do you see, with this plan that is with this phase that is going to take place, do you see the electoral system being credible enough? I'm not saying they're not credible, but what do you think that means for Nigerians?
Well, I'm afraid of
voting.
I'm afraid of Nigerians. We are the smartest people on it. I think they should take the brain of Nigerians and test them. I'm not even sure we are from this planet.
So what planet are we from?
I don't know. We should go and find out where we are from. Nigerians are this. We will beat any system. Go and ask people in the world. Once a Nigerian arrives at a place, he sees all the opportunities, all the threats, everything good and bad about the town in the first 1 week of him arriving there. So this is my point. It is good in itself. I don't see it facing now the PVCs directly, but it will help for those in diaspora to vote, which is a good thing. It will help for us to,
Apologies, before you tell us more about that, we have this consistent caller, Sadiq Olushola from Kogi State. Glad to have you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your thoughts, please.
You see, the problem we are having in this country is our political classes.
Okay.
It's not a common man like me and you. It's not the Nigerian citizen.
Okay.
The Nigerian citizens are ready to obey and abide by the rules and regulations.
Okay.
But our political classes, everything they do is for their own self-interest. To build mansions, to build things for their children, generation unborn. And they destroy everything in this country. Look at the refinery. The money that is being spent on the rehabilitation of that refinery is enough to put up a brand new refinery.
Okay.
And yet, every government they keep on allocating money for repair and turn around maintenance of the refinery without hidden results. If a single man can spend $20 billion to build a refinery in a country, and the past administration put together, they say they spend over $1 trillion just to rehabilitate things that is not working. Why are you keeping allocating money when at the end of the day we will not get results? Why are you not proving people? Why are you not bringing people to book? And then you can imagine these are common taxpayer money like me and you that the government are taking, siphoning it through themselves, give the contract to themselves. And at the end of the day, nothing will come in. When another government comes in, they will overlook at it. Now look at this present government that coming now. Since last year, the refinery is going to work. The refinery is going to work up till now. Then who are we deceiving?
Okay.
This contract, they gave it to their companies, they gave it to their fellow men, and they have their own share. And at the end of the day, nothing works.
Nothing works. Okay. All right.
I only pray that our political classes, they will realize that things they are doing to destroy this country, when the fire comes burning, even they themselves will not be spelled out.
All right. Thank you very much for
Thank you, sir.
your thoughts, and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good evening.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Please turn down the volume of your TV set, or you might have to call us back. I'm sorry. Please go ahead with your thoughts. You were saying something about the PVC.
Yes. So you see, you can look at those abroad. We have over 50 million Nigerians outside this country. So, but a lot of them are disgruntled with the way Nigeria is being run. If they have a chance to vote, there will be strong voting power to support good change, because they know what obtains in other countries. But you see, when people are shouting voting abroad, now what if that extends to Mali and Ghana and Benin Republic and Chad and Niger, and the whole of Niger now votes in our next election? I am showing you how the political elite can still use this diaspora voting to still
manipulate the
election system.
So you believe and you think that even with this plan, elections can still be manipulated?
Yes, elections can still be manipulated. You need to understand, this is not new. Joseph Stalin says it is not the people that vote. It is the system that decides the results. Now this, if we don't have strong systems that can be put in place, we have put the beavers. That is one good system.
Okay.
If this diaspora system of voting, online voting is put, how will it be done? Is it that once you vote with your thumbprint and your NIM number, if you do it in hand, if you go to the polling booth, you cannot vote again? If that does not work, if you can vote on the polling booth without beavers and then come and vote on your phone, then you have 2 votes.
But talking about these beavers, this came up before.
Sorry, I want to add something. If the beavers cannot be a strong, dependable ally in court, then what are we doing?
Because we've seen cases where the result on the IRF is quite different from the one on the INEC portal and all these.
IRF is not even my interest. Beavers, the machine that was there. Any place in which beavers was not used, I don't know why we are always in a hurry to announce results. Any place in which beavers was not used, the result should not be counted, should not be added to the figures. Which, if we make it that way, we will make progress in this election. Let all politicians go and focus on vote buying. Let the beavers be our own secure place. Then we can now secure both vote buying at the end of the day. Move from solving one problem to solving another.
But you know that there are still in rural areas where, yes, we have some still rural areas where the network issues there. Don't you think that might be used as an excuse?
That excuse has been used for too long to keep us where we are. See, I worked in the bank. They had a system called that refreshes itself. If you take the device there and you vote there, when it comes into network, it will, that information that is stored, it will now generate that information and put it online. So let's say you went to a village and voting took place from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. There is no state capital that doesn't have network. By the time you get to the state capital, that result should be able to refresh and add up to our figures. That is not a good excuse. We cannot take that excuse forever.
All right. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning,
quite better now. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
I love your program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You see, the refinery in Eleme, I live in Eleme.
Okay.
I live in Eleme. Virtually all the tunnel, even including the tunnel, all is building wall. They are not being turned around in Eleme. Everything is new. Just like a Dangote phone. So the government is doing every possible best to make sure that the refinery turn to new one. So you government say they are doing turn around, it's not turn around. New thing. Okay, the whole refinery is working now. The new one is working. In Eleme here, everything is working.
Okay.
So, and I believe what they are doing in Eleme is the same thing they will do in working and Kaduna. So the last number was telling you people that they are reporting. No. This is not research.
All right.
It's a new refinery. Now we have.
Okay.
This doesn't make you try about this refinery. I can't lie to you. I can't be to I can't video you in studios. One-on-one. Thank you very much.
Okay, please. All right.
I'm very glad.
Yes, if you can get a video of it for us, I could reach out to you with this number after the program. So he said he could help us get a video.
Like I said, I didn't want to argue with the last man because I have friends working in this place. You see, it's just that there's a large mistrust of the people and the government for a very long time. You have we have been repairing this refinery for years without anything. So I understand when the people mistrust the Tinubu government on this refinery issue. But let me tell you, there is a complete, I said it before, I'm glad somebody is coming to give voice to what I said. Refinery is not being repaired, it is being overhauled completely. Every part that is not functioning, a new part is being bought and replaced. The fear now is, when it is completed, should it be handed over to the government to run, or the government should run a PPP, or the government should run a build, operate and transfer? The government has already built it. Should the government lease it out for 10 years to a company to run? And see, there are many questions, but is the integrity of the president that is at check here? And I hope he's listening. It is your integrity at check. You can fix this. If the president gives the right companies, you see, once you are not collecting a tip from somebody, a bribe, once the person is not your brother, then you can back, you can rape.
Without fear.
Yes, without fear. But once you are in cahoots with that person, or the person is not from bribe, the person is a relation of yours, or your wife brought somebody, or your son brought somebody
that brought somebody.
Yes, you cannot really, you'll be using kid gloves on this matter, which is why no ex-president is being arrested for anything. God help Nigeria, I become president. Every ex-president, corruption starts from the top. There's no case to judge apart from all the top presidents, all the top governors start from the top. When people see you do that, when they get into public office, they'll be careful.
Exactly.
You see, the reason why people rush for public office and lobby and bribe is because they want to come and get more. But if they know that you get there and you can get arrested and jailed, and not a Bobrisky kind of jail, you know that you actually get into a good jail. You will see only serious people go for serious positions, which is not where we are now.
All right. Thank you very much. I would we're out of time, but in 2 seconds, I would want you to talk about these security issues with us. It says State Police NEC resumes talks January. Now, trying to address the security challenges we have as a nation, what do you make out of the State Police? Do you think it's an added advantage, or do you think it's something?
It's not something to discuss in 2 minutes. But let me tell you what I suggest. I suggest we should do regional policing. Regional policing. Let the 6 governors in a region take a vote on the 6 governors and take a vote on policing matters within the region. Regionally, Southeast, all the governors can come together to control the police in that region, so that on election day, one governor does not carry the whole police to work for himself. Okay. You can use other governors to put him in check, and then it will be a regional thing. Amotekun is already succeeding in the southwest. If you add the police there and the governors, not just one governor is in charge of them, you can have a balance of power. But I really fear when our governors now own and control the police and pay the police directly. It is scary for power in their hands. But I support I've said what I support. So.
All right. So you support the regional police and not state police.
But if we get state policing, we will still work with it. We will still work with it.
All right. Thank you, Engineer Toby, for being with me in the studio this morning. It's been wonderful having you around. Thank you for sparing your time to be here. This is where we'll draw the curtain for today's episode on the press. Thank you very much for watching and sticking around with us. Keep your fingers crossed on KAFTAN Television for more updates. I am Emelite. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye.
Amen.